Okay. Yeah. So what do you understand by bearing and distance? When you hear the word bearing and distance, what do you understand by that? Let's start with that. Or where is bearing and distance used actually, like in the real world?
That's kind of used in measuring distance, like from one place to another, kilometer, and the rest of them. It's just basically talking about distance.
Okay, that's very good. Okay. Actually, bearing and distance, as you rightly said, is just like you are trying to get the distance from one point, like a point, and that point is mostly known as a coordinate. What is a coordinate? A coordinate is just a point in a space. So the space can be a certain country, the space can be a town, it can be a city, it can be anywhere, it can even be in a certain place, like maybe in your house or in your room. So for instance, this where I'm in Lagos. That Lagos is my coordinate. And let's say I'm going to, let's say, Ibadan. The Ibadan is the next coordinate. So there is a certain angle I am from that Lagos to Ibadan. That means because it's either I can be in several ways to Ibadan. For instance, we have the north here, we have the east, and we have the west, and we have the south. So from Lagos to Ibadan can either be due north, that's it can be directly north, it can be north east. You get that now? It can be directly east, that's what they call due east. See, most of your question you hear the word due east. That means, for instance, let's say I am here. If you are due east of me, that means you are directly at my right hand side. That shows that you are due east. So Lagos can either be here, which is southeast. It can be here, which is southwest. It can be here, which is what, northwest. So either of these places, those are my bearing. Bearing is just talking about like my direction. Like for example, you hear some people, they will say this person does not have any bearing in life. That means he has no direction, he does not know where he's going to, he does not have a certain place he's going to. So due to bearing we can calculate distance. Are you with me now? So we use bearing which is at a certain degree or angle. Do you get that now? So we use it to calculate distance. So I think you've gotten a view of bearing. Also, bearing is used like in military. You get, they use it to note a coordinate, like in the map now. Let's say this is a certain map. Okay, they want to know that, okay, there are maybe those that are air force or those pilots, maybe they are at this position and they are going to another place here. So you know that, okay, if I'm here and I'm going to here, that means I'm going to what, go through this place, which is what, southeast. Do you get that now? So I'm moving from, let's say, point L, or let's say point A to point B. That means I'm going to what, pass southeast. Let's say this is where I am. I'm at A and B is directly in front of me. That means I'm going to move what, due north. So that's what bearing is about. So before we move on quickly, let me rub up my screen. Be solving some popular questions. I will not want to waste our time at all because we have a lot of questions to solve today actually. Okay, so you'll be seeing some questions, and what we want to move to now is how can I convert bearing, that's positions of bearing, in degrees, and how can I convert from degree to a certain position of bearing. For instance, let's start with our first question. For instance, you have the right n 35 degrees east, and they say convert to degrees. That's, this is like in a cardinal, notation. Cardinal is just like cardinal point showing direction on the map, north, east, west, and south. So how will I convert this to degrees? Before we start, actually, let me give you this very important tip on bearing and bearing actually. So I will draw like my map. This is the north, as we did earlier. This is the east, this is the south, and this is the west. So you have to note this, that bearing starts from this north position at 0 degree mark, then it moves in a clockwise direction back to the north. So it's opposite to trig. Don't let this way many wives dey miss it. Trig is the other way round. Trig is like this, like anti-clockwise. That's trig will start from here at 0 degrees, then you have here as what, 90 degrees, here as 180, 270 degrees, and 360 back. But here it is from 0 like this to 90. Here is 180 degrees, here is 270 degrees, and here is 360 degrees. So it is always in a what, in a clockwise direction, while trig is in an anti-clockwise direction. For instance, they said, okay, convert this whatever here to, okay, so I have to erase this so it will not confuse me, to degrees now. So what will I do? I just have to draw my coordinates like this. This is north and this is east. Now I'm told that 35 degrees is between here, between north and east. So I draw my line. That means 35 degrees is from this 0 mark to 35 degrees. So I can boldly say that my north 35 degrees east is equals to 35 degrees. Do you get that now? So let me solve another question. Okay, let me solve another question. For instance, we are given, okay, south of 40 degree west. South of 40 degree west.
Yes, sir. Can you please hold on for a minute? I'm writing this trig diagram.
Oh, no problem.
How to?
Okay. Hope I've not erased something.
You erased one, but I think I got it.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait. No problem. Okay, I'm coming out. I think someone wants to come in. I'm facing a problem.
I'm done, sir.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll continue right away. I'm coming. Someone is trying to enter. Let me quickly reply the person. Okay, let's continue. So now moving on because of our time. We have south of 40 degrees west. Now south of 40 degrees west. So for instance, this is south. So we have north, east, west, and what? And we have south here. South of 40 degrees should be at this point. Am I right? So since it's south of 40 degrees west. Oh, sorry, I am doing east. That's a mistake. Okay, so it should be here. Sorry, south of 40 degrees is, so the 40 degrees should be here, right? So if I want to convert it to degrees, I'll start my calculation from here, from 0 here. This is 90 plus another 90, that's 180 degrees, plus this 40. So the whole stuff will be what? 180 degrees plus what? 40 degrees. That was what? 220 degrees. Do you get that now? So that's our answer. Okay, I'll do one more question, then I'll give you one to do. Okay, for instance, let's say we are giving 60 degrees of northwest. 60 degrees of northwest, very easy. Okay, let me rub this off. 60 degrees of northwest. So I have this is my north, this is my west, this east, and this south. The easy way to recognize where you're north, so you will not take your west for east, is so simple. Just think about the Nigerian map. Lagos is at this side of the map, while the Igbo lands, or like Anambra and the others.
Yes, I didn't get you.
Okay, I said the easy way to remember the right position of your west and your east. For those that usually mix it up, then I usually mix it up actually. So I just remembered something that, okay, this cardinal point is just like the Nigerian map. Okay, so I remember that Lagos is at this side of the map. So as long as Lagos is at this side of the map, remember then we used to say Lagos is what? Southwest, if you remember when we were in primary school. So I just got that, okay, Lagos, Ogun State, Oyo State, maybe Ekiti and the rest, they are all in this side. So this is west. Then the Igbo lands like maybe Abia, Anambra State and the rest, they are what? Imo State, they are the what? East. So like east here and west here. So that's the easy way I used to remember. I don't know if you have a problem. So if you don't have, no problem. So now 60 degrees west, 60 degrees west. So let's take it now. So it will be at this point, right? This is northwest. So this is 60 degrees. So now if I want to take it from here to here, are you with me? Like this position. Now this from here to here is 90. This is 180. 180 plus 180 plus this 90 again is 270. Why? This the whole part is 360. I can just say, okay, my north 60 degree west will be equals to 360 degrees minus what? 60 degrees, because the angle at a point is 360 degrees, right? So I can also say 360 degrees minus 360 degrees. Or you can just say, since the whole year is 270 degrees, you can say 270 degrees plus 90 minus this 60 here is what? Plus 30. So it's still the same thing. So this is what? 300 what? Degrees. Because the reason why I'm doing this first is that in your bearing questions, your answers might be in degrees like this, or might be in what? In this cardinal notation. It's always in two formats. It can be this and this. And also in your objective questions, they give questions like convert this to this, convert this to this. So simple exercise that you work with. Let me give you one exercise to work with. So number one, convert s of 50 degrees east to degrees. So work with that and let me know your answer.
130 degrees.
Okay, good. 130 degrees. Okay, let's quickly do it here. So this is the south, this east. Okay, yes, here is 50 degrees. So the whole of this is 180. So 180 minus, for the sake of those that will be watching this, maybe after the class. So that's 130 degrees. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, let's do this quickly. If I told, okay, convert from degrees now. So let's quickly do it before we move on. Now convert from degrees to your cardinal point, like an objective question. An objective question, I mean. So convert from degrees to cardinal points. So number one, you have, okay, convert let's say 150 degrees to your cardinal notation. So now 150 degrees, you remember what I taught you in the bearing and in bearing, that this 0 degree start from here, from the north. What they're trying to tell us is that anytime you are, like anywhere you are, like on any surface or any point or any space, you must first look at the north. It's just like your compass. You remember, if you watch those maybe very old movies, or this pirate or something, you see that they are mostly conscious of the compass, like the north position of their compass, because when you know the north position of your compass, you'll be able to get every other part of the compass. Are you with me? If you can know the north, you know that, okay, the right hand side of the north is the east, then the left hand side of the north of the compass, I mean, or the north, is the west, then the downward part will be the what? South. So note this first. Now for 150, I'm starting from here. Okay, sorry, let me let someone in. Okay, as we were saying, this is 150 degrees. Now I want to convert 150 degrees to cardinal notation. So this is the north, as we said, and for person that is just joining us, in your bearing, the 0 degree mark starts from the north, from the topmost position. So this is 90 degrees. this is 180 degrees, this is 270 degrees, and this is 360 degrees back. You get that now? So 150 degrees should be around where? Around here, from this 90 to what? This. So here like this will be what? 150 degrees. Then the remaining part will be what? 30 degrees. So I can say my 150 degrees is equals to what? South of 30 degrees what? East. Do you get that now? So I'll be solving another question now. Let me give you a few seconds to jot that down. Let's say we have let's say 300 degrees to your cardinal point notation. 300 degrees to your cardinal point notation. Okay, I think you are in back. Understand the network. Alright, so 300 degrees to cardinal point. Just try to get what we are doing. We've not really gone far, so I'll try my best to make the video available actually, so that you can have it, so you can watch the beginning part that you missed. So now 300 degrees to cardinal point. Now the same way as we did it, very very easy. This is the east, this is the west, and this is the south. So you start from here. This is 0. From here to here is 90. This is 180. I'm not going to 300 degrees, so I will not rest until I get there. Here is 270. So my 300 should be between my north and my west. So once I draw it here from the middle here, this like this is what? 300 degrees. Okay, so the remaining part here should be what? 60 degrees. Do you notice something? Since when I've been solving, my degree or something is always to the what? Vertical. Are you noticing that? It's always to the vertical. I'm not doing to the horizontal because bearing is mostly dependent on the vertical point. Do you see it? South of 30 degrees what? It is not east of 30 degrees south. So you have to know that. That's why we are picking the one to the vertical. I would have just chosen 60 degrees. No, but that's wrong. It is what? South of 30 degrees what? East. You cannot see anywhere. Just try to check real life applications like if you like, okay, I think I saw something then, the position of Nigeria in the globe. I think we are maybe 14 degrees north, 4 degrees south. I'm not really sure. You can check that on Google. So you cannot see them where they write in E, do not write, let's say 50 degrees north. No, this is very very wrong. This is very very wrong. Are you with me? So that's very very wrong. So let's move on. So now you can say our 300 degrees equals to north of 60 degrees what? West. So now a quick exercise before we move on to the next phase. Number 1 question. Okay, let me rub this off. Okay, we have convert. If you can't, any of the mark I'm using that you can't see, let me know. Convert 220 degrees to a cardinal notation. Y number 2, convert 40 degrees to the cardinal notation. So I'm waiting for your answer. I'll just give you like 30 seconds. It should not be more than that. So I'm looking at my time presently. 30 seconds. Let's be fast about it.
I'm done, sir.
Okay, what is the answer?
The first one is south 40 degrees east.
Okay, south 40 degrees east. Okay. What of the second one?
North 50 degrees east.
Yeah, that's correct. Very correct. So let's do it for the sake of those that are just joining us and those that will be watching it as a video. Okay. Sorry. So the simple thing as you did, you have to just draw the something correctly. Once you can draw it correctly, you don't have much problem. So number 1 question, sorry, I think I'll have to change my marker. Prefer this. So this is it. north, east, west, and south. So 220 degrees. Now this is 180. This is 270. So 220 should be logically should be between 180 to 270. So you draw something here. So you have here as 220 what degrees. So here is what 40 degrees. 180 minus 220. So I can just say my 220 degrees equals to south of 40 degrees what west. Okay, why the second one is we have this 40 degrees should be between 0 and what 90 logically. This is 40 degrees, this is the north, and this is the east. So simply 40 degrees will be what north of 40 degrees what east. You see that all this we are doing will really help us when we start solving questions. So can I move to the next phase now?
So is it not
Yes, sir.
is
What is it?
or 50? Is it not 40 degrees east or 50?
No, it's 40. I wrote 40 here. It's 40. You get, remember, it
Okay.
is to the vertical. Don't minus it with 90. It's to the vertical. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Great. So let's move on. Okay, now to the next phase. Let's just start with bearing proper. This is just like a warm up. So have you noticed some questions you see in your WAEC pass? Because I've solved a lot of WAEC pass question. So in your WAEC pass question, you see a question like someone I'm moving from, okay, my movement from A to B is 90 degrees. Okay, I'm moving on a bearing 40 degrees from A from B, something like that. You'll now see find the bearing B from A. Oh, you've seen questions like that, right? If you're conversant with your past, you should have seen it. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll be solving a question. I'm coming. I want to put the question up now. So we're solving a question like that. They are kind of very common. So it will really help us. Don't worry. We'll soon start solving the theory questions that you're waiting for. That's no problem. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So a question says the bearing of Lagos to Ibadan is 150 degrees. What is the bearing of Ibadan to Lagos? I'll repeat the question again. The bearing of Lagos to Ibadan is 150 degrees. What is the bearing of Ibadan to Lagos? So I'm finding it problematic to pose the question. I don't know what the problem is. Do you get the question before I solve the problem I'm having here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me just write with my pen quickly. I'll solve the problem later. So let me write the bearing of Lagos to Ibadan is 150 degrees. What is the bearing? So it's just like the opposite. What is the bearing of Ibadan to Lagos? Now let me just tell you something very quickly. Please note these tips I'm giving you. Very important. When you hear the bearing of somewhere from somewhere, like they say x from y, for instance x from y, they're trying to tell you that the bearing is at y. If you hear a bearing y from x, like after that from is the most important thing, it means the bearing is at what? X. You have to know that because you'll be seeing it a lot when we start solving questions. You get that now? So let's move back to the question. I'll still come back to this later. The bearing of Lagos to Ibadan, that means Lagos to Ibadan. This is Lagos here. Lagos is here. Maybe Ibadan is somewhere, I don't know. but I know that it is what 150 degrees. So you have to look for 150 degrees on like your map. This cardinal point I'm drawing that look like a cross sign is your map. So I'll draw it again here. This is my north, my east, my west, and my what south. Okay, now it is 150 degrees. Can you tell me where 150 degrees will be? 150 degrees should be between what south and east, because this is 0, this is 90, and this is 180. So it should be between this 90 to 180. So I'll draw 150 degrees here. Are you with me? So actually this is 150 degrees. Then 150 minus this should be what? 30 degrees. This is Lagos to Ibadan. So you draw a cross sign like meeting that point. So the question is, what is the bearing of Ibadan to Lagos now? This is Ibadan. So simple, they want to know what is bearing from Ibadan to Lagos. This is 30 degrees. Remember alternate angles. Like, I don't know if you've done it here before. If here is 20 degrees, here will be what? 20 degrees. These are alternate angles. So if here is 30, here will be what? 30 degrees. So now this is Ibadan. Ibadan is starting from here. Remember, from the north axis back to this line that is here. So this line is a line that is coming from Lagos State. So from this, we want to know the whole degree from this 0 point back to this line, and that degree of Ibadan to Lagos will be equals to 360 degrees minus what? 30 degrees. That will give what? 330 degrees. Is there any question before I move to the next question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's take another question. Quickly. Okay, let's say, let me rub my screen.
No, well understood.
Oh, great. So let me rub this off. So number 2 question now. I think you guys will have to solve number 2 question. The question says the bearing of x from y, since you understand it, is let's say 50 degrees. What is the bearing y from x? Okay, let's do that quickly. What is the bearing y from x? For those that will be looking at it, so I think we understand this now. So if this is 50, where should 50 be? 50 should be around here. They said, please note, I want to know if you did it exactly this way. The bearing of x from y means this is the position y itself, then it is as 50 degrees. So 50 degrees should be here. Am I right? Then it should meet this place. See the way I'm doing, this is x. So if here is 50, this place should be what? 50 degrees, like alternate angles. Then you calculate from here back to that line. So your x now, y from x will now be equal to 180 degrees plus 50 degrees. That's what? 230 degrees. Do you see it now? So it's not 310 actually. It's 230 degrees. Should I give you one more question? Let me give you one more question. Are we clear with what I just did now? What is the response? I don't know, maybe the network is really messing up. But if you can hear me, I'll be putting up a question now. Okay. I figured out if you're putting my questions back. So let's solve this question. hope you can see it. I will increase the font. So this is the question. This is the question we have here. The bearing x to y is 210 degrees. Hello. Sorry, I never knew I was muted. Sorry about that. I'm really sorry. Okay. So this, do you understand what I did at first? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move on. So because you guys have not gotten this, so we are going to solve this other question. The bearing x to y is 210 degrees. What is the bearing y to x? What is the bearing y to x? So solve that quickly before we move on. So after this, we'll be moving to real theory questions. Bearing of x to y, that means from x to y. So where will 210 degrees be? Sorry. 210 degrees should be between 180. Let me put my notes, whatever. If you put only notes, is okay. But I usually like to put everything. So it should be between here. So this is the 210 degrees. So here should be what? 30, abi? So if here is 30. If here is 30, what will be the other part? This is x. This is y. If here is 30, this part will be what? The alternate angle, right? 30 degrees. So your answer, sorry, it is 30 degrees, not 60 degrees. Why? Because I'm starting from this place to the line back. Have you seen it? It covers only 30 degrees. Have you seen your mistake?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please, you need to explain the from and to, like,
Okay.
x from y. That stuff is actually confusing.
Okay, let me explain this. Well, the stuff is, the thing is, like now, when you hear from, it does depend on the way question comes. When you hear like x from y, it means you are starting from y. Like from y, like he said, you come from somewhere, from a certain town, you are starting from y. So like this one was, that means from y you now do it to what? To x. But this one is from x to y, that means I'm starting from x. X is going to, like x is moving to y. So it's just simple. This is 210 degrees. But even from all this thing, it should not really confuse you. This is 210 degrees. Now this is 180. The remaining part will be 30 degrees. So you just use the alternate angles, whatever. This is 30, the other part should be 30. So your aim should be this line, where the line meets. If I'm starting from the north here at 0 degrees back to this line, it should be what? 30 degrees. Should I give another question? Because all these things they are teaching is very important when we want to solve the main questions, which we'll be solving right away after this. We still have some time. I'll give you one more question on this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So,
Yes, sir.
okay, so let me paste the question. So I'll just change the value. So solve this question. Number 4. So solve this. Let's see.
So it's the same value.
Oh, okay, sorry, let me change it. Oh, it's actually 120 I want to put. Just do it, change it to 120. It's 120. I don't know, I've changed it mistakenly. 120 degrees. So as you can see, it's 120 degrees now.
300. 300 degrees.
Okay. Um, is upside down.
300 degrees.
Okay.
Network is having issue.
Sorry about that. Okay. More than. Let's start. So the bearing x to y is more than 20 degrees. Okay. Just want to confirm something. That's my stuff is working. Okay. The bearing x to y is 120 degrees. What is the bearing y to x? X to y. That means I'm moving from x and I'm traveling to a point y. My 120 should be around here, right? Should be between 90 to 180. So this does draw the line and does draw like the cross sign inside the line. You see where it's going to meet. You see where it meets. It meets here. So here to here, this is the north. Here to here is 120 degrees. Then this part should be what? 60. Why? Angle in a straight line is 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 120 degrees, that will give me 60. If here is 60, this other part should be what? 60 degrees, right? Then you start from here to this place, to the line, from the north to the line in a clockwise motion. I think Opo was there when I said it, but first started with me. So I said in a clockwise. Clockwise is the way your clock moves. Your clock moves this way, right? So you start from the north in a clockwise motion to the line. So the answer will be what? 360 degrees minus 60 degrees. That's what? 300 degrees. Is that what you guys got, Abby?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
So now let's move to the main questions. You see the importance of all these things. So this one actually it comes out mostly in your objective, if you're familiar with objective questions. So let's get started. Alright, so moving on, I'll rub off my screen and I'll pick some
Sir,
questions.
wait.
Okay.
Please wait. Before we move to another question, the way you did it is not the way. I didn't subtract anything.
Okay.
What I did was just I got I really don't know how to explain it.
270.
Instead, I didn't write. Yes, 270 plus
30, right?
30. I didn't write that 60 out where that 30 stopped. Then I just did the alternate angle stuff and got the 30 and then did the clockwise
Yeah.
movement and added it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's very okay. It's all correct. You get it now, it's very
Okay,
correct.
sir.
So it's not compulsory, it's one certain method. As long as the right thing is correct. So moving on. Let me rub this off. So now we'll be taking a theory question actually from 2014 question 12. Don't worry, I have it here. If I know with your past question at the moment, I'll be pasting it now. So I hope you can see it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ignore these things that here. Okay. I think it's better now. So let's start. Listen carefully. So I purposely wrote the place where you can get the question. So in case you just want to walk through the question, you know that we are solving wire questions. Because I will not love to formulate questions unnecessarily because it's actually wire tutorial. So you'll be solving SSC questions. Okay, so the bearing, are you seeing it now? The bearing Q from P. So you can see that it's something related to what we just finished doing. The bearing Q from P, that means you are looking at a position what? A position P from P. That means I come from a certain place P is 150 degrees. And the bearing P from R now is 15 degrees. When you see 015 is 15 degrees. If Q and R are 24 kilometers and 32 kilometers respectively from P, representing the information in the diagram blah blah blah. So let's start with question I. Even if they did not tell you to represent it in a diagram, you have to represent it in a diagram. Is so necessary and compulsory. Like, how will you do that? You are solving a brain and distance question and it's theory and you're not representing the diagram. That's very wrong. So you can't just start because of your WAEC questions since 2017. They started giving lines. So you can't just start solving unnecessarily without reading the question properly, so that you have a lot of space to solve your questions. Because if you make mistake and you cancel and you don't have enough space, that's all. So the bearing Q from P, that means you can, in a small part of your, maybe your answer sheet or something, you can just do a very little sketch. So that's what I would advise. Q from P, that means this is P, is 150 degrees, this is 150 degrees, should be around there, right? And it's coming from what? From P. That means P will be at the other end. Q, sorry, will be at the other end. The bearing Q from P is 150 degrees. This is P. Here should be 150. This is just a little sketch. I will still redraw it. I just want to know as I will position it in my main answer box. Let's say this is my answer box. Then P from R. That means from R, I don't know where R is, but okay, I guess R should be around here. You get now? So P from R is this. That means, do you see something now? My 15 degrees is around here. You see now, I'm going to this place. That means I'm not meant to put it here. I'm meant to put it at this other end. Look at it, so that it can meet it at this place. It can meet P because it is the bearing P from R. Do you see it now? So let's say I will still re-explain actually. Let's say I go and put it here. I would have drawn it here, then I will now start cancelling. I will now start rubbing off again. Before you know it, I've wasted the whole day. So do you see the reason why? Just maybe with a pencil, you just quickly sketch it somewhere here, then you transfer immediately because of your time in your exam. So that's part of the exam tips you get here. So can we move on? So I'll be solving the question all over again. So back to the question. The bearing of Q from P is 150 degrees, and the bearing of P from R is 15 degrees. If Q and R are 24 kilometers and 32 kilometers respectively from P, represent the information in a diagram. Okay, so as we said, P is 150 degrees. That means my 150 degrees, according to what I did the other time, okay, my 150 degrees should be around here. This is my P, 150 to Q. So wherever I draw that thing, is going to meet what? Q. This is Q. Okay, now R is 15 degrees. Do you see it now? 15 degrees of R should be around here. This is R, 15 degrees from P. That means I'm going to draw it till when it meets P at this place. Are you getting what I'm doing now? So we are told that if Q and R are 24 kilometers and 32 kilometers respectively from P, that means PQ is 24 kilometers and PR is 32 kilometers. So PQ is 24. You can't expect 24 to be longer than 32. So that's why I made this one longer actually. This is 32 kilometers, 24 kilometers. Then just try to draw a line that connects both of them. But because of what I'm using, that's why I'm drawing it little by little. Okay, now I've drawn a line that connects both of them. Is there any question before we start solving the questions? Before we continue with the question? So I'll know.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, great. So moving on. Now we are going to review everything we did. Here is 150 degrees. This will be what? 30 degrees, right? 180 minus 150 is 30 degrees. This place, try to put knots in all of your something. Remember, I told you, just like when we started the class, just like a compass, the knot is very important. Now this part is 15 degrees when we started. If you remember, you can't just say, yeah, 90 minus 15, now right? Okay, yeah, 65 degrees. No, because there's still a space under here. Sorry to inform you, there's still a space under here, so you don't know here. You just leave it that way. Okay, so if here is 15, I can boldly say this other part should be what? 15 degrees. Why? alternate angles are equal. When you add 30 plus 15, you have what? 45 degrees. Great. So now with this cosine rule, I don't know if you remember cosine rule in mathematics. Cosine rule, what does cosine rule state? Cosine rule made us understand that a square equals to b square plus c square minus 2bc cos of a. What is a, what is b, what is c? We have 3 rules, but I'm only working with one. I will explain that. Okay, this is a, this is b, and this is c for a triangle. The side that is opposite your angle, a, the capital letters are the angle, the capital letters are the angle, while the small letters are the sides. The one directly opposite to this b is this, the one directly opposite to c is this, the one directly opposite to a is this. That means when I choose a, my cos a is this angle that is here, my b is the angle that is here, and my c is the angle that is here. My a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2 the rest, b and c, cos of the a. If I want to get b square now will be the rest, a and c, a square plus c square minus 2ac cos of this b. I write it in capital letters b. If I want to get c square, it should be what? A square plus b square minus 2ab cos c. We also have sine rule. The secret is that most time cosine rule is used for getting.
Sorry, before we move to cosine rule,
Eh?
can you please? I didn't get this cosine rule
Okay.
from the a square equals b square. Thank you.
Okay, great. Let me come again. So for cosine rule, as I was saying, is very, very important actually. Very important when you are solving both your angle of elevation and depression, which you should be doing tomorrow. If you can finish this today, and I hope you do. So cosine rule now, I drew a triangle. This is A, this is B, and this is C. The sides that are opposite, side is like the side of something, like the length, the whole slant height and everything. The side that is opposite your A is the small letter a, or you can call it side BC. As you can see, it's from B to C. The side that is opposite your big B is your small b. The side that is opposite your big C is your small c. Now this is the format. This is like the formula format for your cosine rule. This one is like the formula format. So the formula format is that the side you are looking for, if I'm looking for a, I will say a square equals to b square. The rest is b and c. B square plus c square. Now minus, this is the format, is the law, minus 2 times the remaining side b and c, then cos of that a that I'm looking for, the angle in front of that a, which is this angle that is here, the angle in front of the a. Let's say I'm looking for b2, it will be this, the format, b square equals to, when b has been taken, the rest are what? The rest will be what? Yes, the rest will be c and what? And a, because this b is taken. So it will be a square plus c square minus 2ac cos of what? B. So you can tell me that, okay, c square will be what? The remaining, which is a square and what? And b square minus 2ab cos of what? This c a. Is there any question before I move on?
No, sir, but
Okay.
the big B A, the big ABC, what are they representing, and the small one?
Yes.
You mentioned it earlier, but I
Okay,
didn't get
this is it. I don't know if you can see it. The big A, B, and C, they represent the angles, while the small a, b represent the sides. Angle is in degree, the sides are in like in meter. These are the side. For example, in this question, this 32 kilometer at the side, 24 kilometer they are the side. You get, so this is the side PQ, this is the side PR. So that's what it means. So now cosine rule is mostly used for getting sides, while sine rule is mostly used for getting angles. It's mostly used for getting angles. So sine rule is very simple. It is just, for example, I would just say sine A over small a equals to sine B over small b, or I can say sine C over small c. So I write it here again. Still the same thing, sine A over small a. Depends on, you can't do 3 equations in mathematics like this. It must be 2. So I can just pick, maybe I can pick sine C over small c. It depends on the data that is available. This is sine rule. Can jot that down quickly. Don't worry, there's no need of getting the full knowledge of it here, because this is what we're using to solve questions. So on the long run, you will surely understand better when we solve this question now. So just jot that down quickly, because I'll be rubbing this side off. This will solve my questions. No, this is just the law. Like, this second one is like, this is the whole law. This second one I wrote is just like, maybe, I said at first that you can't solve 3 equations in a single line. It's always 2 things, one at the left hand side and one at the right hand side. So your focus should just be, let's say the parameter is between a and c, then you just pick 2 of it out. Your parameter might be between b and c, then you pick those 2 out. It can be between a and b, you get. So this is just the major formula. So because I'm just giving an instance that, let's say you are giving between a, like a side a, like this side, and a side c, then you just pick 2 of them out, because there's no question you see in math that you solve 3 things like this. Since when I've been solving, I don't think I've seen any. Actually, it's always 1 equals to sine in an equation. Do you get it now?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so now let's solve our question. So since we understand the diagram, shouldn't be much of a problem. So taking this off. Now, okay, the question says now I now calculate the distance between Q and R correct to 2 decimal places. All this information you have to read the question properly, because they say correct to 2 decimal places. Your answer must be 2 decimal places. That's how you get. There's a mark for putting it in 2 decimal places actually. So where is QR? QR is between A and A. Remember our little cosine we were talking about, that we did A, B, C just now. This is small c, this is small b, this is small a, and these are the angle ABC. So now in this one, I want to form the cosine formula from this. Remember I said cosine law. If you are looking, whatever you are looking for, this the main place. My main place I'm looking for now is QR. So if you want to write side in bearing, you write, like, you draw a straight line QR. You put underline line, you put square. Now equals. So remember, let me just write one of the format of the formula. C square equals to a square plus b square minus 2ab cos big C. This is the format I'll be using. Just listen. I'll start again. I'm looking for Q square, QR. So I'll write QR square equals to, the rest are A and B are B. So the rest here is not A or B. It is PR and what? PQ. So I'll write PR square plus what? PQ square. Look at the format. Then you have minus 2. Minus 2. AB is written as PR and PQ, alright? PQ and what? PR. This slant is just telling you about this side. This is standard way to write it in white. Cos, what is cos C? Instead of C, C is the thing that is opposite your what? Your angle. So what is opposite this place we are looking for is what? The angle what? P, or the bearing P. So I'll write P. Then I solve. Do you understand my formula before we start putting figures in them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what is QR? That we are looking for. No worry, something you get used to. We'll solve another question and I'll still give you one question you solve. PR is 32 square plus we have 24 square minus 2 bracket 32 bracket 24. Cos P is cos 45 degrees. I hope you have your calculator. If you're using calculator here, muscle with mine. So you can do
10.
what's it?
1024 plus
1024.
576.
Wait, you did everything together? Okay, wait.
No.
I did this actually, and I don't want us to.
1024.
Okay, wait. 2 times 32 times 24 times cos 45. Okay, this is 1086.116. Am I right? So minus 1086.116. So this one answer. Is this right? that will be the root of our answer. So my answer is 22.669 kilometers. Now the question says correct to the nearest two decimal place. Two decimal place means 2 points after the decimal point. 2 points after the decimal point. Okay. So what are the 2 points after decimal? Two numbers after decimal point. The two numbers there is 6 and 6. This is the second number. So once I round this up, it becomes what? QR of the what? 22.67 kilometers. Have you confirmed that on your side? Or this side?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
correct.
Okay, good. Now, next question. Let me give you a few seconds to write because I don't want to rub this off. We still need this diagram for the third question. Can I repeat now?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm waiting.
I'm done, sir.
Okay,
So I can erase it.
great. So let me erase that. Okay. So now the next question says find the bearing of R from Q. Don't forget the from. I'm always saying. The reason why I'm always saying is because some people will know the right thing, but they will just do the wrong way, and nobody cares about that. Whatever is wrong is wrong, even though you did the right thing, but it's in the wrong way you did it. As for anybody is wrong. So that's why I'm always like saying you must know what is your from. When you say from Q, it means you are looking for the bearing at Q. Now remember when we used to do our stuff, the last question we were solving, then I will say like P from Q, Q from P. Now listen, P from Q here was 150 degrees. You want to get Q from P. It's not that method you use to solve it. That means you must, this is the line, PQ, this one. Okay, let me use a different marker to denote it. I'm using a little marker, this line. You get this line now is the line PQ. So if I want to move from P, I want to get the angle from here. I listen, right from here down to that line back. So the only way I can get this is very easy. From here to here, listen, from here to here is 180 degrees. I need to add 180 degrees to the angle I will get. There is an angle theta here. There's an angle theta here. Then I can say that angle theta plus is another small angle that is here. It's actually a very small angle that is here. Oh, sorry, that's a mistake. Let me tell you a mistake. I was reading the wrong thing. It is from R to Q. R from Q. That means I'm not stopping at P. I'm stopping at R. Sorry. Do you get that now? So I'm going to say from here to R. This R here. Sorry about that. So this R. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. These are, sorry, I was thinking it was P. So I'm just doing from here. It's still the same thing. Nothing changed. This is 180. I need to get the angle here. This is 270. So I'm going to add 270 plus this very small, I'm sorry if you can't see it, there's a very small angle here. Let me change my marker. There's a very small angle at this red point, so I need to get that angle at this red point. How will I get the angle at that red point? See, this thing is about logic. That's why math is very good, because it's kind of help you to think properly. Now if this is 30, this part is what, 30 degrees, am I right? If this part is 30 degrees, that means I need to get this place. Let me say here is my theta. If I get this place, to get this little red portion here, I would just say 90 minus that 30 minus that theta. Then I will get my value of the little, let's say our value here is termed as x. I will get that x. Then my work is just to add that x that I've gotten to 270 degrees. Then I get my bearing r from q. As simple as that. I'll come again. Find the bearing r from
So
q.
please,
What is it?
I wanted to see if you recap.
Okay. Find the bearing r from q. Let me remove everything that I've done. Okay. Now find the bearing r from q. R from q means I want to get the bearing at q, but coming from r. So this is the r line. It's coming from r. That means I'll take my bearing from this knot down to that line, which is r here. Now I don't have a problem. From here to here is 90, here is 180, and here is 270. I know that okay, it's 270, but I need to know this small line that is between this line r, line qr, and this cardinal, the west point. So I can term it as x. I'll term it as x here. Now how will I get this little x, very very little x that is here? To get this little x, I know that okay, so maybe okay, let me even do this way. Sorry, I should have done this since. Let me make it bigger. This is coming from p here. This is coming from, sorry, this is coming from r. No worry, I think this is better. This is coming from r. Now from here to here is 30. This part is 30 degrees. This is the north. This is the point q. I need to get here with theta. I can use my sine rule to get this point. Now to get here is from here to here I'm looking for actually. So I need to get this little spot x. I need to get this little spot x. To get little spot x, everything here is 90 degrees. Are you with me? Everything is 90 degrees. So to get this x, my x will just be what? 90 degrees equals to 30 degrees plus theta plus what? X. So I can just say x equals to 90 minus 30 degrees minus theta. Don't worry, we can get our theta here easily by doing our sine rule. Very very easy actually. So I can see my x equals to 60 degrees minus theta. So to get my bearing r from q will be here to here is 90, here to here is 180 degrees, this place to this place is 270. It will be what? 270 degrees plus what? X. So I just showed you how you are going to get your x. You can only get your x by saying 60 degrees minus theta. I will give you just 1 minute to like kind of read it on your own a bit, so you can just learn it. So you can use that time to write it and just learn it quickly. I think that's fine. Then we'll move on. So it's just a minute. Let's be fast. So use the time to walk it through, because in teaching there must be like a very little time you use to check things on your own so you can get it. So I'm sorry, I'll continue. Then if I'm done, I'll be almost done actually. I'll give you time to write before I move to the next question. Can I move on?
How did you get that 30 there?
Okay,
Up there?
the 30 is from here. This one here, this 30. Look at my cursor. My pen here, 30 degrees is alternate to this one, 30. You get?
Okay. Yes.
Is Okwe fine with what you are doing? Oh, she's network. She's out. Okay, let's move on. So to get, I think we are fine now. Now to get this x, now I need to get this theta. Remember the sine rule. The sine rule made us understand that okay, sine a over small e can be equal to sine b over small b. I can put this sine c over small c, but there's no need. You can leave that one. Okay. So now to get this theta, you have to look for what is opposite it, which is 32. So I will now form my own formula by saying sine theta divided by this 32 that is in front of it is line PR. Tend to write your formula first before writing your numbers in WAEC. Very important. If you are privileged to see the marking scheme, or maybe your teacher has showed you before, see that these little things carry marks. So then after this, we are looking for this theta. You find something that, okay, welcome, you've not really gone far. You look for something that both already know. The one that both already know, we already know here as well, 22.67 is known, then here is known. So I cannot say sine 45 over 22.67. Oh, sorry, I meant to write in the formula format. That's bad of me. Okay, this is sine P divided by QR. So now, what is the aim? The aim is to get sine theta. Sine theta will be equals to PR sine P over QR. So can someone help me with this?
Sir, please can you come again? I didn't get anything. The network is breaking over here.
Sorry. It looks fine here. Okay. What I was saying was, I want to get my theta now. To get the bearing, R from Q is equal to 270 degrees plus X. So I need to get this X. To get this X, my X, we've done this already. 60 degrees minus theta. I've showed you how. This is 90 minus 30 minus theta. That's 60 degrees minus theta. So to get this theta, use sine rule. Sine rule, look for this, the unknown you are looking for. What is directly opposite the unknown? It is 32 kilometers, and 32 kilometers is of line what? PR. And maybe you know, I said that in why don't just write 32 kilometers and just start solving. No. You have to first show it in a formula format. So according to the law, sine A over small a, that means the sine of the angle divided by the side itself. So sine theta divided by PR equals to, look for two places that they are known already, because you can't have two unknown in an equation except you are doing subordinate equation, and that's not the aim here. So you look for the one that two of them are known, which is sine P and this one that we've gotten already in our first question. So that will be sine theta over PR equals to sine P divided by 22.67. So we can now say PR is what? PR is 32 times sine P is sine 45 divided by what is QR? QR is 22.67. So tell me the answer. This is 32, not 3.232. So let me know the answer. I think I'll rub some things off here. Can I rub this off?
Zero point 0.031.
Okay, sorry. Let me confirm here at my end. 32 times 45. 22.67. 0.2. Are you sure your something is in degrees?
Is that
What?
is 0.998?
Exactly. 998. Put 1. Put the 1. Make it like a four-figure table format. Please note that in your exam. So now sine inverse of 0.9981.
Sorry, is that 22 or 32?
32. Sorry, 32. You thought it's 22. It's 32.
86.48.
Okay.
Abi-
Are you sure? Okay.
.4674.
That's okay. I'm coming. Let me do something. Sine inverse 0.9981 is 6.467 degrees. Okay, so I think we are good. Yeah, so Moving on. So we said x equals to 60 minus theta, but here we can see that our theta is kind of bigger than our something. So maybe our diagram, we've made some few mistakes. So I think what should have happened was that this one should have entered from beneath. Sorry, the what we've been doing is correct, but this line should have been from beneath here. You get, not on top here. That's a mistake. I think because of what I'm using, if I'm using my biro, it should have been a different. There's where I draw it with my biro, but I'll try to make amends to that. So this is what I'm doing. Let me do it again. Let me do it better here. Or I'll redraw the diagram quickly. What we are doing has been right too. There's no mistake. I'm just trying to tell you why it's looking as if it's negative will be having here. Everything is still correct. So moving on, if I will draw that one later, we said x is 60 minus theta. You know, our bearing of r from q is equals to 270 degrees plus x. So we have 60 degrees minus 86.467 degrees. That's like negative. Negative means it's supposed to be at this other side. That's a mistake. I'm sorry. It's a diagram that made it wrong, but it's not. We are not wrong with our calculation. 467. That's I have minus 26.467 degrees. So bearing of r from q is 270 degrees plus minus 26.467. So that's 270 degrees plus what you have here. So our answer is what? 243.53 degrees. So you see that the diagram is a bit not correct because the thing should be under, should be before this 270, around there. This is what I'm trying to show you. You see my cursor around there, should be like this. You get, that's like a mistake, but it can be easily corrected if you don't draw your diagram. So it should be like this. This is how I should have drawn it. Sorry about that, but this is your final answer. Is there any question? Don't worry, we are still solving another question. Do you have a question?
The only place I don't understand is the sine rule part. How you got the sine theta over PR equals sine P over QR.
Okay.
That's the only part I don't.
Okay. What of Papa, is there any question before I answer his own question?
So I don't understand that you got that sign.
The sine rule.
Yes.
Okay, now you have.
I understand the sign, but I don't know how you start using sign.
Okay, it's just the third question. Any question that they tell you that you should get your bearing or you should get or a degree, sorry, you have to use sine rule actually. So now this is the rule. Let me erase this. So the rule is, okay, I want to get this something here, this theta. I have to look for, I'm doing both of you together, I'm answering your question together. I have to look for this which is in front of it. So sine rule says that sine of an angle divided by the side is equals to another sine of another angle divided by that side of that angle. So what I mean in essence is that this is what I'm looking for. I would also say this sine theta divided by the side in front of it, opposite it. The side opposite it, as you can see, is this now. That's what PR equals to. Look for another side whereby it is complete. Why am I looking for the one that is complete? Because of I must have only one unknown in my equation. So what is complete is this to this. So still the same trend. Sine, look for the angle. That's what 45, That's like yours. It's just like saying sine A equals to sine B over small a over small b divided by, like that formula, formal formula I wrote, divided by what is directly in front of it is what? 22.67. Do you get that now? So that's what I used in getting this. We cross multiplied, we did blah blah blah, and we got this. Then we had a negative. Why do we have negative? We only had negative because we had little mistake with our diagram. Then everything will still work together and we got our final answer. Now, does the last thing before I move on. They said correct to the nearest degree. Nearest degree means it's just like saying correct to the nearest whole number. They don't want decimal points. So my bearing now will be, I'll round this up. It will give me 244 degrees. That's your bearing R from Q. 244 degrees. That's the final answer. So I'll give you like a minute to write. Or if you have any question to ask, you can let me know. Is there any question? Is there any question? Or are you done writing?
No, sir.
Are you done writing? So
Yes, sir.
okay. What of is she done?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll give you
No,
a minute.
no, sir, you can use. I'm done.
Okay, good.
I'm done.
So now let's move to the next question. Don't worry. You don't really get things just like maybe with one question or something. As if I still having that, do I know it now? Do I not know it now? Actually, we will not leave this place until you know it. So don't have any something like, okay, do I know it? We'll solve another question. We'll solve questions till you know it. You don't just get a math question by solving just a single question. So let's solve another question. So moving to our question 2, another here. So I think this whole thing is messed up. Let me just sorry, give me a few seconds. Okay. So this question now is the 2018 question, very recent. Question 7 of the past question. Hope you can see the question. So we'll be solving this question right away. So let me edit this. This is supposed to be question 2. So are we there? This is our next question. Okay, someone lost connection. Oh. So can I move on?
This is 2008 question what?
18, question 7.
Okay, 2018.
So that's very good, because if you don't want to write the question so that we will not waste our time, you can just note it down. So if I'm done, you can go and be checking the question. So you can write this in your notes back later or something, as if you want to. Now we have 3 ships PQR are at sea. The bearing Q from P is 30 degrees and the bearing P from R is 300 degrees. If PQ is 5 kilometers and PR is equals to 8 kilometers, illustrate the information in diagram. Calculate correct to 3 significant figures. The distance between R and Q, the bearing of r from q, very very similar with what we just finished solving, but we don't know how the shape will be. You get that now? So since we don't know how the shape will be, we have to follow the instructions here. First thing, what I told you last time, just do a very tiny sketch, a very small sketch. Q from P is 30 degrees. That means at P here must be 30 degrees from P. So I'll draw like 30 degrees should be from 0 to 90, Abi. That's it. And it is from P towards Q. So best thing is just to draw that stuff. So we'll not make the same mistake we made the last time. You see where it entered. So now the next one is the bearing P from R. That means from R is 300. Where will R be? To make it 300, R should be somewhere here. Do you know why I drew it? Say, okay, let me just even draw it somewhere else. R is 300 should be around here. So for me to make 300 to meet P, I have to draw it here, so it can meet it like this. You see it now? So once it meets it, I know that we are forming a triangle now, little by little. So are we good now? So from here we can draw our stuff. Do you get what I'm doing now? So this is how our angle will be. So this will guide me. So I will not go and be drawing it anyhow inside my question sheet if I want to solve my questions. So moving on. Is there any question? We've never really started solving. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I'll read the question again. 3 shifts PQR at C. The bearing of Q from P. This is P. The bearing of Q from P is 30 degrees. I will draw 30 degrees from here. Yes. And it is from Q. That means it must enter the Q part. And the bearing P from R is 300 degrees. Where is R? R should be down of this. So 300 should be around here, like from here to here is 30 degrees. Sorry, I'm meant to even be putting that. Now 300 degrees should be from here to a point here. So I'm sorry, I have to draw it from here. It should enter this point. Not really easy to draw with this stuff. Okay, so here now is 300 degrees. If here is 300, this place should be what? 60 degrees, right? So if I want to draw now, this one will be like from here to here. Are we good now? So this is R, this is P, and this is Q. Is there any question about the diagram before I move on?
No questions, sir.
Okay. Hold on, do you understand the diagram?
Yes, sir.
Great. So we are learning something with time. Okay. Now PQ is 5 kilometers. PR is 8 kilometers. We want to get this part. I know our cosine rule. To get this part, I must know the angle that is here. Because cosine rule is just like c square equals to a square plus b square minus 2ab cos what? C. That cos c is the big one in front of this small c. So I need to get a. How will I get a? It's a very big question. How will I get this part? Okay, let's just try something. Let's try hands on whatever we can. If we can't get here, that means we'll use sine rule. So okay, now here is 60. Here is 60, right? Okay, no, sorry. Listen, let me just, it's because of this stuff is looking tiny. This is coming from P. Why? This is coming from Q. This is coming from Q. Why? This is coming from P. So from here to here was what? 300 degrees. So when I meant 60, I meant that the whole place here is 60. So I don't know what this place is. This is the place that is inside the triangle. Listen, cosine rule and sine rule, they obey the triangle law. Like they are the laws that guide triangle. So I can't use cosine rule for something outside of this. It's only for something that is within the boundary of a triangle. Are you with me now? So I can't put 60 and say I want to use cosine rule. No, it must be x. I don't know it. So that's how it's going to be. Alright. So now moving to what we are still talking about. This 30 degrees. If here is 30, here too should be what? 30 degrees. Abi? So here is 30 degrees. How am I going to get this remaining part now? Someone should tell me how am I going to get that other part. I'm waiting for your responses. Who wants to help me out?
So which part? No, I'm lost to my network is acting funny.
Sorry. I said I want to get this angle that is here. How will I get it? Okay, I think I'm saying it now. So wait, but do you get the diagram? You understand? You understood the diagram. This is Q. This is 5 kilometers. This is P, and this is R. This here is 15 degrees actually. This part will be 15 degrees. Are you with me? So from here to here is 300 degrees. We want to get QR. We know here as 8 kilometers. With the principle of cosine rule, to get this QR, I need to know the angle that is in front of this place. So how will I know that angle that is in front of them? Simple. So let me just follow me. It's very easy. Or does anybody want to help me? How will I get this place? I don't know how I'm going to get it. Who will help me out? I'm waiting for you. Someone should help me, please. I don't know how I'm going to get this part, this angle that is here.
It should be 90 or so.
90. Are you sure? No, can't be 90. You know, in science, everything you are doing must be proved. Math is part of science. So you have to prove. Why is it 90? But I'm not sure it's 90. So who wants to help me again? What of awkward? Do you want to help me?
If it's not 90, then it should be 60.
Are you playing games?
No.
So I don't know it too.
Try now. You guys should even get it better than me because you are with your pen, you are with your paper and pencil. It's more easier than I. I'm not using paper and pencil here, or I'm not using book and biro. I'm not using paper and biro. Okay, this is it. Just look at it. This thing is you must be able to look very well. So this is 15 now. This is it. I will draw this part out here. Just look here. Something is like this, and another one is this way. So if here is 15 degrees, I can say that here should be what? 90 minus 15, that's what? 65 degrees. Okay, here is 65 degrees now. Let me get this little part. How will I get this little part? This is a transversal. What is a transversal? A transversal is a line that passes through two parallel lines. That's what makes things to be alternate. Like I can say here is alternate to here. They are all resting on this transversal line. So now this is like the transversal line everybody's resting on. Here is 300 because from here to here is 270. If from here to here is 270, this small part will be what? 30 degrees. So if this small part is 30 degrees, this one that is here should be what? 32. So I would just say 30 degrees plus 65 degrees. The whole of it will be what? 95 degrees. Who understood what I did? Any question or comment? Bad network.
So please, how did you get the 13?
Okay,
Network is having issue, that's why.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about it. Okay, how I got the 13? That's my problem. I said, look at this R. You know, they said the bearing of P from R is 300 degrees. That means if the whole of here to this line is 300 degrees, this is P from R is 300 degrees. So from this R to this P is 300 degrees. From here to here is 270. So the remaining small part here will be what? 300 degrees minus 270 degrees. That will be what? 30 degrees. So since there is 30 degrees, alternate angles, this remaining part, that's why I said you draw this cross sign. Many of your partition, they just draw it like this and they just solve it and they get the answer because they've pre-solved it somewhere before they started typing, actually, before they started typing. So they don't write all this. These are write it like this is what will guide you. If here is 30 degrees, this second part will be what? 30 degrees. Alternate angles. Any question?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so can we move on now? Now we know that this is 95 degrees. Let me write it here. 95 degrees. So I've showed you how I got my 95 degrees. You can check it all over again. So I'll solve the question. So if I've solved the question, you guys will help me get the bearing of R from Q. The bearing of R from Q, like the previous one we did. Then I'll solve with you again. And I'll give you another question that you will do through on your own. So let's just solve this first. The bearing RQ. The distance between.
Sir,
Okay.
will the video for this lesson be on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, because all these parts I don't understand them at all.
Wait, which part exactly? You can still get it now.
Like from the beginning of what you started explaining, the network has been breaking up since. That's why I've been leaving and coming back.
Oh, sorry, I noticed that. Okay, is it this how I got 95 degrees? I mean,
The 95, I heard that she mentioned 130 degrees and also
no, it's not
like
130
that.
degrees. She said 30 degrees.
Like 30, I said 130.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
those part are.
No, it's not actually 130. It's 30. Okay. We got the 30 from 300 degrees. Oh, sorry, let me did what I raised back. I have it back now. So this is what I did. Like, how did I get this 95? We know that since here is 15 degrees. Oh sorry. I made a little mistake. Here is 30 degrees, not 15. See me. This is 30 degrees. So if here is 30 degrees, this part should be what? 60 degrees. Do you get now? So that's 60 degrees plus 30 is actually 90. How I got my 30 degrees, sorry about that, it has been 60 all along. I thought this is 15 degrees. I just saw it, this is 30 degrees. So we've corrected that 30 degrees here, 30 degrees from Q from P. So 90 minus 30 is 60 degrees. Then how did I get this second 30? I got it from this bearing R. From here to here is 300 degrees. Since here is 270, I would just say 300 degrees minus 270. The extra angle that is hanging, that is like an extra line that is just hanging about, is that 30. And according to what I said, alternate angles are equal. If here is 30, this other part, because it's connected to this, will be what? 30. So I can say 30 plus 30 will give me what? 60 plus 30 will give me what? 90 degrees. So sorry, this should have been 90 degrees. 90 degrees, not 95. I'm really sorry about that. It is 90 degrees. So we can sure use our cosine angle. That's where I stopped before you came in. We can use our cosine angles. So using our cosine angle, we'll say QR square. We're looking for the distance between R and Q. Or should I say RQ? Let me just follow them. RQ squared equals to PQ squared plus PR squared minus 2PQ PR cos P. Okay, so what is RQ? RQ is what we are looking for. PQ is what? 5 square plus 8 square minus 2 bracket 5 bracket 8 cos 90 degrees. And something, what is cos 90? Without punching your calculator, what is cos 90?
It seems to one. Abi.
No
It's
one.
to one. Abi. -1.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Cos 90 is 0. Ah,
Okay.
yeah,
0.
yeah, yeah. There's an easy way to know this.
But
Okay, let's do this way. Tomorrow, when I'm doing angle of elevation and
what?
depression, because angle of elevation and depression is mostly about trig, you get. So when I'm doing angle of elevation and depression, just remind me how you can know sine 90, cos 90, 180 degrees, 270 easily without cramming anything. I'll teach you. There's an easy way to get it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is
I
0.
mix sine 90 is
Yes,
1.
sine 90 is 1. This one
Okay.
is cos 90 is 0. So we have 5 square plus 8 square. That's 25 plus 64. That will give us 89. No, this whole is 0. So that's 89. So what is the root? Root of 89. So what do you have? 9 point what? So you have 9,
9.434.
4, 3. Okay, let me just tell something. 4, 3,
4.
3. Okay, let's see 4 here. So they said to 3 significant figure. So there's a 0 here. So first thing you must do it as if it's more than 3 significant figure first. That's the tradition of writing in WAEC. Before you now write 4, 3, 4. Then this is your final answer. So quickly, very, very quickly, you do the bearing of R from Q. The bearing, you help me. Okay, let me write. Don't forget to be writing your unit too. You guess. Let me be a good example. Okay, so the bearing of R from Q, how are you going to do that? You want to get R from Q means you want to look for the bearing Q from R. This is R. I need to know what is the angle from here to here. That's my aim. As simple as that. That's just my aim. How will I know the angle from here to here? So can you work on getting that? Let me redraw this one. Maybe let me redraw this so you not get confused. Let me redraw this. What we are saying, the bearing Q from P is 30 degrees. So this is P from Q 30 degrees. Then from R is 300. Here was small 13, so here became 13. Here was 60, so addition of them give us 19. Then we do something like this. This should give us to here. Yes. So you want to get the angle from here to here. So here is still 30 degrees. So just work your way through. How will you get from here to here? So let's be fast about that. No, it can't be 210. Look at it now. Where is it again? See, from here to here, this that is not even up to 180 degrees. Yeah, this from 0 to here. This is where the line is. This is where 180 stops. So it's not even up to 180 degrees. Just try something. Just it's not even about getting it. You can just work things out and just try. When you now feel it and another do it, then you see that you know it better. Then you'll be able to solve another question you want. Okay. Don't worry, actually you can still get it. The video will just like help you to know it better. And for those that will know it, don't worry, you still get it. Just keep calm a bit. So okay, let me just solve it. We've not solved enough questions.
Okay.
Let me just solve it. I don't know if you first way. Okay. I'll just it. I know the network is one big nonsense. So let's just do it. R from Q. Are you with me? Now here is 30 degrees. Okay, either we know here or not. Let's know this small place. Look at it too. It's very easy actually, these things. And I don't think it's easy because I know it already or something. It's just you just have to look just view. Oh, this is I'm redrawing this small place. I'm making it bigger so that you can get it. This is Q now. This is another part here. Here was 30 degrees, right? We need to know this small place. When we don't know this small place, we can now say, okay, 180 minus this x, because normally, let me use a different marker. Normally, from here to here should be 180 degrees. So how will I now know just this green part? This green part. I can only know this green part by saying 180 degrees minus x. How will I get this x? I told you it's about reasoning, just reasoning. I need to get everything here. If I can get everything here using my sine rule, then I will now say whatever I got minus 30, then I will get this small x. Then I will now say 180 minus that x. And just like that, I've gotten my r from q. Okay, let me start again so you get what I said. I'll rub this off. Okay, back to work. I want to get this place, because if I get this place, this part is 30, I can get this remaining small part. I think I love this green. So this is what I'm looking for. To get here, there's an tell me as x. Here is 30 degrees. I must get this place. And how will I get this place? I'll use sine rule. Sine rule. I would also say, okay, sine q over what is in front of sine q according to our sine rule, it is what? PR equals to, use something that is known already. This 90 is known and the one in front of the 90 is known. So I would just say sine p over qr. I was not reminding, what's our qr that we got the other time? Or is it rq? PR is 8 kilometers. Yes, 5 kilometers. And something, what is QR? I've forgotten. Sine P is sine 90 over.
So I did not write it down. I screenshotted it. Let me check it.
Okay, I think I have seen it. 9.434. Yes. Okay. So sine Q now will be 8 sine 90 divided by 9.434. So what is sine Q? You can do that to your calculator. 8 divided by 9.434. That's 0.84780. So sine inverse of this So according to what I have here, my sine inverse is 57.994 degrees. So to 3 significant figure, this is my answer. Sorry, 948. So to 3 significant figure should be what? 58.0 degrees. Sorry, a mistake. This is not my final answer.
57.
Yes.
Abi?
And now 57.995 degrees. So this is what they're trying to tell us. Everything at this Q here is 57.995. Are you with me? So we need to get this small x. This small x will be 57.99 this thing minus 30, because x plus 30 here. I mean, this is here. Is this one I expanded to here? This one that is here I expanded to here. That's this x very tiny. That's why I made it bigger. Plus 30 give us 57.995 degrees. So x now will be 57.995 degrees minus 30. So your x should be what?
27.995.
27.995. Correct. So if I want to get my bearing from r from q will just be simply 180 minus this. This way we want to get this place. I'm going to color yellow now. This place, that's from here to here, the same thing, yellow. So I need to say 180 minus this x. I've gotten the x now. So 180 minus 22.995, 995. What would be our answer now? That would be our final answer.
157.005.
157 or 152?
157.
Ah, this 27. Take the inch, 152.
152.005.
Yes. So your three significant figure means just three figures. That's 152. So the answer is 152 degrees. That's our final answer. So we'll be solving. I think this will be the last question. This will be the last question. Y from x on the bearing 135 degrees. We have x 135 degrees. 135 degrees should be here. So this is x coming from the y part. Okay, so it is 60 kilometer. You write the size 60 kilometer. YZ is 80 kilometer away from x on a bearing of 225 degrees. So x is on a bearing of 225 degrees away from z. So from this same x, as we said when we are solving bearing questions, 225 degrees should be around there because this is from 180 to 270 degrees. So 225 should be here. So it's just a simple thing. Here is 135 degrees. Why? This is the north. From here to here is what? 225 degrees. Alright. So here was 60. Okay. Let me take this off. Let me write it in the other part. Here was 60 kilometers. Why? This part is 80 kilometers. Are you with me? So this part should be longer in your bearing and distance. So once I draw this, I should have something like this. Okay, so are we good? Now here is 225 degrees. It tells you that if here 225 degrees, from here to here like this is actually 180. So how are we going to get this part so that we can get line zy? This is z. To get this part, because we want to use cosine, we have to know this angle, the angle opposite to this zy. To get this part, I will draw it in a bigger form. Are you with me? So this is from here to here is 225 degrees. Why? From here to here is this part to this part. That's from this x plane to this y plane is 135 degrees. So to just get this other part, it means 225 is equals to this 135 degrees plus this part we are looking for. We can term it as x plus x. So I cannot see x is what 225 degrees minus what 135 degrees. That will give me what 225 minus 135 is, if you use our calculator, 225 minus 135, that's 90 degrees. So that means this part is 90 degrees. Okay, so let's work to get our zy using cosine rule. Zy square, according to what you know before, is equals to xz square plus xy square minus 2xz xy cos x. So what is xz? Xz is 80 square plus 60 square minus 2 bracket 80 bracket 60 cos 90. Remember what I told you that time, cos 90 is 0. So we have 80 square plus 60 square. So what is 80 square plus 60 square? That is 10,000. Yes, I can see 10,000. So now, what is the root of 10,000? The root of 10,000 should be 100. Yes. So our answer is 100 kilometers. This is 100 kilometers. Now the question is, get the bearing z from y. Z from y means I want to get the bearing y coming from z. That means I'm looking at, this is our knot, this is our knot here. Please try to write it this way. I want to get from here to this z here. Are you with me? So let's rub this off and we can try to draw this part very well. So I'll rub this off. It's clear that it's something that you can just double tap the back of your screen, so you can go back in case you miss something in your when you're watching it on YouTube. Are you with me? So let me draw this actually. I draw it better. So this is 80, while this one is 60. So 60 should be up and 80. So it should be like this. Sorry. This is what I'm talking about. It's going to be like this. So it's going to be under like the first question we solved. So now I want to get from here to here. This is y. Y, this is what? Z. So let's get our angle. Let's try to work something out now. Okay, we know that we want to get, okay, sorry, I'm going to do something like this. This is how we look like. This is n. I'm trying to draw this place bigger. This is our y. So I want to get from here to this place. To get from here to this place, I need to get this angle here, theta. That's which is here, theta. And I need to know what is x here. So you know the angle in this point is 360. That's y will be equals to 360 degrees minus this theta minus x. So I use it to get this y. So now what is theta and what is x? To get your theta, you just use your sine rule. But to get the x, we have to use something else to get the x. How can we get our x? If we can know what is here, what is in this place, then it's very easy for us to get what is in our x here. Okay, now simple. How are we going to know what is here? We can only know what's here by doing alternate angles. Coming from here, you can zoom your screen to see it. From here to this place is 135 degrees. The angle in the straight line is 180. So since here is 135, the remaining part should be what? 45 degrees. I can use a red marker here. The remaining part should be what? 45 degrees. So that means 45 degrees here will be alternate to this x. So the x is equals to 45 degrees. Now my main problem is, how will I get theta? I'll use my cosine sine rule. So I'll just say sine theta divided by what is opposite to it is 80 equals to, this is sine 90. You know, I need to have only 100 divided by what? 100 kilometers. So sine theta will be equals to 80 sine 90 divided by 100. So I'm using my calculator now. Sine 90 is 1. So this theta is equals to sine inverse of 0.8. Sine inverse of 0.8 is 53.13 degrees. So my y is 360 degrees minus 53.13 minus 45 degrees. So our final y is equals to 261.87 degrees. That's our final answer. Okay, so from here, if you still want to do to the nearest degree, you can just say y is 262 degrees. So I hope you understand this now. So do well to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like, and also share it to your friends to understand. Alright, so see you in the next class. Bye.